Pay attention! We're starting now! Go!
What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin RobbieBillz, station Pop Pop Boom, and welcome again, once again, into the year of PCPX. The year, the heel, and if you ain't down with PCPX, we got two words for you. You know what they are. So let me hear it in the chat. What do you say to people who aren't down with PCPX? Comment in the chat. What is up, everybody? Hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a fantastic weekend, spending time with people I really care about, doing enjoyable things. That's what the weekend is for. And of course, a little bit of work here and there. But now we are here together to talk about movies, comics, pop culture, and a whole lot more, whatever you want to talk about, because this is the show where I get to interact directly to you, the PCP Army, the viewer, the audience, the family, the friends. So, what do you want to chat about? Let it in right now, because even though we have a plan-ish, this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So get them in right now. I had a great weekend. I got some wrestling talk if you guys want to hear that. I saw that was I don't know if that was a smart-ass comment or a legit comment right there in the beginning, but we'll get to that. Lots of cool stuff to chat about. Let me know. What do you want to talk about? I'm here for a while. Got some cool shows coming up, but before we get into that, I do got to say, you should follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can find old podcasts, and old more stuff at popculturephilosophers.com. We have a website. We are legitimate, right? You can follow me on X at the Rockin Robbie. You can follow me on, we already did the Instagram thing. If you want to help support the channel, you can do so with a super chat below, which will trigger a Hellboy song and maybe other shenanigans. You never know how I'm feeling at the time. Also, patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP Army generals right there. Thank you all for the support. All we really need, though, is a like, a share, a subscription, and of course, your participation in tonight's chat. All right, we are still at we're kicking off the last week of March Madness this week. But it's kind of a little bit of an extended week because next week we have two shows on Sunday and Monday. But tonight, after this stream at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, the Babadook over at Dylan's Horror Show. I will be there making my triumphant heel return to the Dylan's Horror Show as we continue March Madness with the Babadook. I always like saying Babadook. They say Babadook, Babadook, Babadookie. I don't know. I like Babadook, however you care. Tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night, we're going to be talking about Mother. This is a Darren Aronofsky film. Two Gun Pedro sent this to me. This is one of his picks for PCP March Madness. He sponsored this video, and I watched it for the first time today, and right now it's still unfolding, ruminating, if you will, in the back of my mind. That's aka the subconscious, and tomorrow I cannot wait to formulate my thoughts and have a great conversation with Brooks, Joe Corallo, and the missing link himself, Steph, and potentially Jelani, though Jelani says he might have to dip out. After that, on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, Old Boy is what Fable is covering over at One Collection Down. I will not be there, unfortunately, but that does not mean that you shouldn't join in, as well as Thursday night over at Blood Splatter Chatter as Verno and his extraordinary crew talk about The Invisible Man, the more recent remake, like 2020, something like that. I remember talking about that on DHS a while ago, so I'm excited to have those fellows unpack this show yet again. I like it, though. I do like that movie. I think it's just fine. All right, we're now pausing for station identification. All right, now we're officially underway here. So let's take a look at the chat and see what is up. KR says, can't wait for the Weekling Wrestling Review Show. I did go a little bit long on wrestling. Last time we were live, it was post-Elimination Chamber. We've had a few developments since then, including John Cena's very first heel promo. Always got my man right there. You may not think I'm holding anything, but I am. That's a stupid joke. Anyway, I liked the promo. I thought it was pretty cool. I really like how he busted out that one kid. So basically, John Cena comes out and he's all like, y'all ain't had my back. Y'all been booing me for years. Basically, screw y'all. It's over. This is an abusive, toxic relationship. And then there's like a kid there. Probably like an 8-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid. I don't know how to tell the age of kids, right? But there's this kid there, and there's extra footage that they've shown where the kid screams out, I love you. And John Cena goes, everybody here, including that one kid right there, is part of a toxic, abusive relationship. And he just goes on. And then the camera cuts to that kid, heart breaking into, we just saw a healins, that's right, a villain's origin story unfold before our very eyes. I thought that was pretty freaking funny. I watched that clip so many times in that first week. Outside of that, I am very, very excited for the recent developments. What we knew were coming, but the CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns feud that kind of really started percolating over at Royal Rumble really got unleashed on some episodes of Raw and SmackDown. I do watch Raw, but I do not watch SmackDown because I just don't have it available. But I'm also hearing that it's kind of like a inconsistent show, but I do watch the clips I need to on YouTube. WWE is pretty solid at checking, at revealing those, at putting those up pretty quickly. Also, WWE related, I did start watching the Mr. McMahon docuseries on Netflix, and I'm 4 episodes in. I think I got 2 left, and love it. Just loving it. I think it's a really interesting show. First of all, going through the history of the WWE and all that stuff, I've been there. There's a really great 4-part YouTube series, and I wish I could remember the channel's name, but it's like the history of the WWE's golden age, right? The WWF stuff, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage. Randy Savage and Macho Man are one and the same, believe it or not. Ultimate Warrior. Anyway, you know the era I'm talking about. There's like a 4-part series about that's actually really freaking good. And other things like that. Anyway, going through the history of the WWE is pretty cool. It's always interesting. But seeing Vince McMahon's responses to it, like, yeah, dude, you got some issues, man. Who hurt you? Apparently a lot of people early on, but that dude's got walls put up, and like, now you know how everything came out of it. It's a crazy show to watch. It's almost like the Hulk Hogan stuff, where a lot of people in the industry, they still talk about how, oh, Hogan's a fine guy. Oh, Vince McMahon never did me wrong. A lot of people talk shit about him. So it's just kind of a thing. I don't know. I listen to The Undertaker. He seems more balanced, but he's also like, oh, Vince never did me wrong. Hogan never did me wrong, except for when he told everybody I broke his fucking neck and I didn't. Anyway, here's my thoughts on, there's your weekly wrestling review show, KR. I hope you liked it. GTK Comic is in the house. What is up, my man? Derek is in the house with a Tyrannosaurus or something? Is that what's going on? Like a pink T-Rex? Rah! That's pretty cool. The artist formerly known as Jesse say, what is in the house? Road Collecting is in the house with a station and a hashtag PCPX. You know it. Pete is in the house. What is up, Pete? Dynamite is here. How you doing? William says, let's hear Robbie's review of Batman 158. That's right. Batman 158 is coming out this week from DC Comics. And guess what? I ain't got a review for you. Why? The lunar shipment still ain't showed up. It's saying they're not going to show up till Tuesday. So I didn't get a chance to read it. They didn't make any like PDFs available to retailers because they knew it was going to sell. It knew it was going to sell gangbusters regardless of us getting a chance to read it, because we're going to order the hell out of it because Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb returning to Batman for Hush 2. I'm not super big into it because I'm not really that big of a fan of Batman Hush. I think it's okay. I think Jeff Loeb has better work on Batman, including at the top of that list, Long Halloween, and then Dark Victory. I think Hush is like a pale shadow compared to those two works. I do like Jim Lee's work a lot. I'm a big Jim Lee fan, but his work in that Batman run, it's all right. It's not bad. I have been collecting up those foil facsimiles. So I've been intending to read them along, but I just haven't gotten to them yet. But only a few, like 4 have released. So I plan on revisiting it. Maybe that'd be something fun to do here on Rockin Robbie Live, go through an issue at a time. It was actually something I asked my buddy Davey, Faux Robbie, to do with me as a segment for the show. And he's never really committed to that. Or maybe I'm misremembering and he has committed to it, but he wants it done in a certain way. Let me tell you something about Faux Davey, or Faux Robbie, Faux Davey as well. Let me tell you something about him. This dude is pretentious. He's a little bit of a prima donna. He wants a certain amount of M&Ms, a certain amount of Skittles. Actually, screw the M&Ms, screw the Skittles. It's all Crunch Bars. It used to be Kit Kats. Now it's all Crunch Bars, peanut butter cups, and stacks of them. And beef sticks, like pepperoni beef sticks from Slim Jim and Jack's and shit like that. Whatever. Crazy dude. Anyway, he's hard to work with. But maybe I'll just do it here. Maybe we'll do it as a... I was thinking about this. I was like, I do kind of miss the magic of doing DC or basically it was Marvel in the 90s. But then we would do things like DC in the 90s or DC in the 80s, things like that. We would do those, and I'd clip them out, and they do well on the channel. Like, they do okay. Some of them pop, but, for the most part, it was something fun to do here on Rockin Robbie Live. Then I decided to start doing the top-down videos, and I just don't have the time, really, to invest in that anymore. I still have some that I haven't released. You've seen them all. Y'all have seen them all on Rockin Robbie Live, though. But I don't know. That style, it was cool, but it wasn't as fun as I thought it would be doing it on my own. I think if I incorporated it into a live setting, where if I had my gear, had a second camera, I got a second microphone, not a second webcam yet. I need a second webcam, and maybe we could do like a top-down live, kind of flip through things. I think that would be fun. But I don't know, just the old school vibe of like Marvel in the 90s, stuff like that, DC in the aughts. Maybe we should do that for Batman Hush. That'd be fun. And I don't have my original copies anymore, so... I sold them motherfuckers like a while ago. Anyway, but I do have these facsimiles, which would glare into the camera, so. But only the foil. Anyway, that being said, they know that they don't have to give an advanced reader review copy to anybody, whether it's a retailer or a reviewer or even creators, because, they always, usually you send it out to like retailers, you send it out to reviewers, you send it out to other creators so you can get some buzz building up to. They don't need any buzz built for this. Everybody's going to get it. And with the fact that my lunar order was short, or not short, but delayed this week, we didn't get it as early as we typically do. There's no DC sneak peek. I haven't read anything. I have read Absolute Martian Manhunter #1, though. Let me tell you something. That's going to be the pick of the week. I just go ahead and spoil it right now. That's going to be the pick of the week. Ain't nothing going to top that. I guarantee it. Because it might just be the pick of the year. That first issue is so clean, so good, so refined, so... It's a high concept book and approach to the Martian Manhunter that is only something that would work in a comic book form. And I'm not just talking about this gimmicky thing they do towards the end, which is rather clever and really cool, but just it's Rodriguez's artwork, Dennis Cant's script. It's amazing. I know Assorted Crisis Events #1 just dropped. Just wait till you read issue #2. And I said when Assorted Crisis Events #1 dropped, that's like one of the best #1 issues I've read in a long time. Now it's Absolute Martian Manhunter, which I read before. I read Assorted Crisis Events, but anyway, I have to kind of keep the timelines going, the kayfabe in my head. But anyway, Absolute Martian Manhunter is fucking baller. Do not miss that book. That book is amazing. The art is stellar. It is like reaching above and beyond what a lot of mainstream comics do, including some of the work done in the absolute DC universe, which is all awesome, right? So I'm saying it's an elevated comic. That's what I'm saying. I don't like that term, but that's what it is. But yeah, Batman 158's out this week. I haven't read it though. Jared says the new Berserk volume came out this week. That alone makes it the best week of the year so far. I bought like the first big Berserk book and then I just never read it. Never got back to it. I need to read it. CTA Frank with the station. What is up? Cardstock Variant. How you doing? Dynamite says, how was your St. Patty's Day? It was good. I went to work. It was Monday, so it was FOC. I did FOC. I did my Monday tasks. Then I went home and I did my Dynamite show. And I did PCP movie night. We did Leprechaun. Then I had some dinner and I went to sleep. So it was a good St. Patty's Day. Not as wild as they typically are. But I did have a bottle of Jameson with me. So I was having fun that night. Two Gun Pedro's in the house. What is up, my man? Jared says, my bracket exploded because Wisconsin choked. Oh, they did? I should have known, Blair, better. Wisconsin teams always choke in the playoffs. I haven't been keeping up, actually, man. It snuck up on me again. I haven't been keeping up with everything, but I have been keeping up with my Auburn Tigers. I know we're 2-0. When's our next game? When's the next game in the Sweet 16? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Michigan. Friday. All right. Michigan, number 5. That's going to be a fun game. Let's War Eagle, everybody. Let's go. Dynamite says, oh, Sunday, time for my pickled okra martini. I love martinis. I love them extra dirty. I love olives. I love pickled okra. Never had it with a martini. Do you have it dirty, my friend? William says, just watched the Batman Hush animated movie. I've not seen that. Didn't they split that into 2 parts? I haven't seen that one. What do y'all think about it? Eddie Von B is in the house with a pop, pop, boom station, y'all. How you doing, my man? 90s Arcade is here. I was actually watching Jim Lee's Twitch live stream earlier. Well, thank you for coming over. Silhouette says, we need Robbie's review of Absolute Martian Manhunter. Well, you just got it. So heck yeah. Ahead of the curve on that one, I am. Dynamite says, forgot they had an animated movie of Hush. I'll have to rewatch. William says, still waiting for the return of Batman. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to bring that one back. We'll see. Time crunch. Time crunch has led me to cut some things out of Rockin Robbie Live. We would be doing the DC sneak peek tonight, but I didn't get the DC books. But yeah. But I do want to bring back like Marvel in the 90s. Y'all let me know what you think about that. The chat just dropped and everything's freezing on me. What's going on here? All right. Pete says the glow-in-the-dark cover for Batman Hush 2, which is Batman 158, may be the best glow-in-the-dark cover I've ever seen. And I read the preview for Martian Manhunter. Seems super trippy, and I'm here for it. Yeah, psychedelic is a good word to use for Martian Manhunter, or absolute Martian Manhunter, we should say. Joe says, Station, Silverhawks 2, Adventures of Gunslinger Spawn, Deadly Tales, right? Yeah, and G.I. Joe and Holy Crap on Absolute Batman were my picks this week. I had a lot of fun with Absolute Batman number 6. I don't know, like, there was a moment, you can go back, you know, because I've been doing the weekly comic book review for a while. You can go back, and when Dark Knight's Metal first came out, like, I gave it a bad review for issue number 1, bad review for issue number 2. Issue number 3, I was like, you know what? I think I just got to let go and just be like, this is just stupid shit, you know, and just roll with it. Ever since then, I loved metal, and I loved Dark Knight's death metal even more, right? So I'm having to do that with Absolute Batman, which I am and have been, but it really somehow cemented itself in my soul this week. We'll be talking about Absolute Batman number 6 maybe on Thursday night. I don't have a thumbnail put together, but seeing 9-panel grid here in the chat has helped me remember that Thursday night at 6 p.m. is the monthly comic book review show live. Best comics of the month for March. It's going to be me, Stu, Nick, and 9-panel grid. Starscream, what is up? Oh, Eddie shouting out for Michigan. I guess we can still be friends. Southside Ronan's in the house. Love from Chicago. Thank you so much for being here. Silhouette says, yo, Robbie, I was wondering what would be your approach to Absolute Teen Titans. Who would you have be the writer and artist, or maybe they do solo minis for each members before the teen book? I don't think something like Absolute Teen Titans would work so well, because Teen Titans, the whole core concept, initially of it, at least, was that they were all sidekicks of the Justice League. And you don't even have a Justice League yet, and you got a world in which, I mean, maybe they'll build up to an absolute Justice League or something, but it's supposed to be a world infused with Darkseid's energy, right? So, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think that, you couldn't go back to the core concept, at least, is what I'm saying. So there is that. If you wanted to do an Absolute Titans, though, some kind of team, you wanted to have those characters represented, like, say, Dick Grayson or Cyborg, like if we're thinking more of the George Perez and Marv Wolfman stuff, right? That team, like some of the people that came in, like Starfire and Cyborg and Beast Boy, right? And Raven, popular characters. People know them as the Titans. Yeah, I just find it, I don't know. The way that they're doing the Absolute book seems, I guess the way... All right, so you could obviously compare the Absolute Universe to the Ultimate Universe. In particular, the original Ultimate Universe. And so if you wanted to do Titans, I don't know if you would go with the Ultimates approach, the Mark Millar, Brian Hitch Ultimates book, which was really good. But that would be a great way to do an Absolute Justice League book, was to kind of give everybody their focus as it's going in. Slow burn. That's what these Absolute books have kind of been. It's how comics kind of are. Mainstream comics, at least. Superhero comics. So, with Titans, though, maybe you want to go a little bit more into the direction of Ultimate X-Men. Mark Millar. Who was the initial artist on that? Was it Adam Kubert? I think it was Adam Kubert. The first... Like, that Mark Millar run on Ultimate X-Men is really solid. I think it's a really solid run. And they've just recently, they're coming out with these Ultimate collections now, or Epic collections of the original Ultimate Universe. The first one of Sir Ultimate Spider-Man dropped. I don't have those anymore. I still have my hardcover for Ultimates, but I don't have my hardcover anymore for the... I used to have all the Ultimate X-Men hardcovers and all the Ultimate Spider-Man ones, and the big ones that they would release. But I sold all of those years ago. So I'm thinking about getting those Epic collections. That would be pretty dope, because that's some... I would like to revisit them, at least, for sure. But I remember really being fond of Mark Millar's Ultimate X-Men. So maybe that's where you want to go. As far as the vibe, like there's a team already in place, there's a new member, something like that, right? I don't know how you would apply the edgy dark side energy that is permeating the absolute DC universe, allegedly, which, I mean, not allegedly, it is. I mean, that's the whole point, is it's a world without hope, a world more leaning towards despair, right? Like a shadow of the DCU. Like a yin and a yang type thing. So, team. What team would be good on that book? Well, we know that Porn Sack Pidgey Show has a book coming. I don't know if it's been announced what book that is. I think it might. I don't know if that book has been announced. I don't know if his title has been announced. You got to think, well, am I trying to predict who will actually do it? Or am I trying to predict or am I trying to discuss who I would want to do it? Because if I want to try to predict who's going to do it, I would have to kind of think through the lens of Scott Snyder, because this is all kind of his baby. And it would be somebody new and upcoming or something like that, or somebody more established recently. But who would I want to do it? Titans don't resonate with me as well as much as they do with other people. One of the reasons why is because I've never read the Marv Wolfman, George Perez stuff. I've never read that. That's one of the big, giant gaps in my comic book world and knowledge. I have read John Byrne's Next Men multiple times, but I've never read Marv Wolfman and George Perez's Teen Titans, which is crazy. I don't even have any copies anymore. I think I got like a trade of like the first 8 issues or something like that. Anyway, who would I want to do it? Oh, Alex Packnadell. I want Alex Packnadell to do it. That would be fucking awesome. Because I think he could bring his like unique approach to like sci-fi horror to it and kind of go with that kind of an idea. Like maybe they're not lab experiments or anything like that, but kind of put together by like a laboratory or a mad scientist. You make a Doom Patrol-y or some shit like that. Alex Packnadell would be great for that. But maybe I'd rather have Alex Packnadell on an absolute Doom Patrol. Okay, I'm changing the whole rules of the game. Instead of an Absolute Titans book, I would prefer an Absolute Doom Patrol book written by Alex Packnadell with artwork by Leonardo Romero or Chris Burnham. Yeah, we'll go with that. Hey, Joe Corrallo's in the house. Station, Joe. How you doing, my man? Finally started reading Copra. Pretty good stuff. I've not actually read it. I did read The Death of Copra #1. And I was like, I need to do this some justice. I got the first trade and I got Michelle to like sign it. Did a little sketch in it. But I've never actually read it. I love his work. What's crazy is I've read his damn Bloodstrike comic, but I've not read Copra. And then what happened was they put out that damn hardcover and it's gorgeous. And I kind of wanted to get that hardcover. I should read it too. You're right. It's out there on the shelf. I should read it. I'm making myself a note. I haven't really dedicated a lot of time just for reading for pleasure lately. When I don't read for pleasure or just for enjoyment, it starts making the other reading that I'm doing feel more tedious and like work, right? And that's starting to happen at times with the weekly comic book review. So, and like in particular with the lunar shipment delay, I'm like, man, I gotta read all these books on Tuesday again, and I think I got Tuesday afternoon plans. Oh my God. Like, it's just, it starts like weighing on you. So I need to, Robbie needs to be better with his scheduling and schedule out time for reading for enjoyment. That's what he needs to do. Because when I do that, I have a lot of fun with it. I did it not too long ago, and I was like making my way through some Grindel. I read the first 2 omnibus collections of Grindel, Hunter Rose stuff, and well, I guess they call it Devil's Legacy or whatever, but it's basically the Christine Spar stuff. Yeah, I need to read more. Don't we all? Thanks, Joe. You didn't even mean to, but somehow you shamed myself. Anyway. Not your fault, Joe. Why is everything so glitchy to me tonight? Everything is so glitchy for me, y'all. This is kind of frustrating. I would reboot, but then we'd have to start a whole new stream over. 9-Panel Grid says, how about a new segment? Indie comics in the 2000s. Let's get some zany Oni stuff from Bob Shrek's time. That would be cool. That'd be really fun. That'd be a really fun show to do just outside of even Rockin' Robbie Live. But yeah, I would love to, like, I need to get my comics organized again. Because during this purge that I've been in the midst of, that I've halted for the last few months, a lot of stuff has become disheveled. And I once I get that collection honed down, then I can start really piecing together some stuff. Tonight for Show and Tell, I got some things that I'm considering keeping. I'm going to ask the chat what they think. And I think that's a cool little bit too. But yeah, you're right, dude. Some great stuff to unpack from that time. Especially from Oni Press and other indie releases. In the 90s too. If I did indie comics in the 2000s, the first one I want to do is The Atomics. 90s Arcade says, yeah, Absolute Batman 6 was great. The final panel with the Joker, though, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah. And did you see the reveal of Absolute Bane? You thought Absolute Batman was big, huh? Home of the Brave, comic news and review. What is up? How you doing? Nice to see you here. Joe says, I'm still waiting for the weekly wrap-up to return. Yeah, me too. Me too. Here's an idea. What do you think about this? Because I was like, you know what? I could shave off time if I did it as if I was doing it live and had my images set up. Then I don't have to edit it afterwards because it's not that much editing. But whatever. So I was like, maybe I could just do it that way and then release it. Now you got me thinking, why don't I make that like kind of the opening bit on Rockin' Robbie Live? We do the weekly pop culture wrap up. I cut it, clip it for Monday morning for anybody that doesn't want to watch Rockin' Robbie Live. I don't know. Maybe that would work. Maybe. That's an idea. That's a good idea. What do y'all think? I know everybody would say, you'll want the wrap-up to come back. I want the wrap-up to come back too. I thought I'd be able to bring the wrap-up back in January. My idea about where I could place it in my schedule has panned out to not be the case. So, I want to bring it back though. But at the same time, I don't want to make Rockin' Robbie Live too, but that's killing two birds with one stone. I don't know. What do y'all think? Would you even accept it back as just a bit on Rockin' Robbie Live? I should still clip it out because it was the second most viewed video weekly, and it's dumb of me not to be doing that video. But I do other things that I love, like Rockin' Robbie Live, and the conversations, and appearances on other shows and stuff like that. So I got to balance like what works and what's good for the channel with just what I want to fucking do. Cause like, trust me, I'm really like holding back right now on doing this whole like, trying to stop or not do a weekly show about wrestling. Cause like, what the fuck, Robbie? You don't need to do that. However, I have already been talking to some people, about doing a WrestleMania post show, not on the night, but like, something after. Oh, that makes sense, Eddie. I mean, you went to Michigan. That's fine. I don't care. It's fine. It's not that hurtful. Since you have a good excuse. So is Zatanna coming or what? What do you mean? What do you mean, like Absolute Zatanna? Is that what we're talking about? Are we talking about Zatanna issue number 2? That dropped last week. It's a good issue. Better than issue number 1. What do you mean? Exactly, Super Mars. Looks like Justice League United will be crossing over with the world's finest book. Justice League Unlimited. Yes. It sure is. There is an issue of Batman Superman World's Finest that jumps into Justice League Unlimited, that jumps down into a Batman Superman World's Finest annual or something like that. But it's written by Mark Waid and it's setting up some stuff. So I think it's supposed to be important. I have a PDF of the issue and I haven't read it yet, at least the first chapter. But basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to goose the numbers up on World's Finest because it's been collapsing as far as sales go since Dan Mora left. What did you think about the conclusion to The Deviant? Did they leave it open by leaving the mask in the snow? It's open as if they could come back to it, but I don't think James Tynion should, because James Tynion with The Deviant did something that to me, that is the best ending that James Tynion has written. I really love that book. And it had some delays. And usually when a book is delayed that much, especially when you're like us, right? And we read a lot of comics. We read a lot of new content. We watch a lot of new content every single week. We are content consumers in the PCP army and in American culture at large and even in the world, right? TikToks, YouTube, we are content consumers. With all of that space, or with all that content being devoted to so little space, though inside our mind is, we need a Teen Dog Shades night soon. I've been really diving deep into some, this is going to sound stupid as shit. I've been really doing some deep dives into Neoplatonic, esoteric occult theories and philosophies. Blowing my mind. It's got me like, I seriously started pulling off my Plato books off my shelf. I'm tripping because I can't find my copy of the Aeneid. And I know I fucking got it. I know I got a copy of the Aeneid and I cannot find it. Did I let someone borrow it? Does somebody out there got my Penguin Classics 90s era with the purple mark, the Aeneid? I know I had 2 of them. I had 2 of them sons of bitches and I can't find a single one of them. Now, this has happened to me multiple times in my life with my Marcus Aurelius Meditations book. And it's usually because I've given it to someone. Like someone's over and like, what's this? Like, oh, dude, you need to read this. You need to read this. This is one of the most important books ever written. You need to read it, take it, read a little bit, just tiny little bit every single day. Just go for it, right? And I'm sure it's in a box somewhere in those people's closets. And I keep buying myself. This is something that I have other friends that do this, where they'll buy some of their favorite books every time they see them at like a thrift store or something. They'll buy them just knowing because they're going to give them away, right? But here's the thing. When you give someone a book, you're like, oh, this is one of my favorite books. You got to read it. How many times do they read it? How many times do they read it? How many times? How many comic books I give to people they don't read? I'm stopping. I thought The Deviant was amazing. I loved the ending. I thought it was a great finale. Silhouette says, maybe Absolute Teen Titans deals with these teens that are in a world where they can't look up to anyone or depend on anyone. They have to change the world even though no one takes them serious. That is exactly what it would be, Silhouette. That's a really good game plan for that. You're right. There are plenty of books like that. So how would you make that stand out? Well, the way you make it stand out is with a really good, clever writer, but also a really dynamic artist, right? But yeah, there's a way to do that. Who would be good at that book? Well, we do get Absolute Flash just debuted, so that could be a lead-in. Because my first thought was Nick Robles, to be honest. But, I don't know. What do y'all think? I think, for that kind of book, Dan Waters. Because Dan Waters has a background in the punk scene back in the day when standing up against authority really meant something. Not that it doesn't now. I know that's what that sounded like I was saying. And maybe it was. I don't know. It's up to you to decide. It's the year of the heel. I can say whatever the hell I want. Yeah. Back when standing up against the authority actually meant something. So Dan Waters, and I always want to pair Dan Waters with Danny, but I want them to do more Coffin Bound and really cool, gnarly, mature readers, horrific type stuff together. Danny, by the way, is the artist of the upcoming G.I. Joe Real American Hero Silent Missions Jinx issue. Whew. That's probably going to be the pick of the week, just on her art alone. Danny is amazing. So Dan Waters, and I wouldn't want to pick Danny for that book. That's not the right book for Danny. Casper Wingard. Dan Waters, Casper Wingard, have him leave Power Fantasy, because that's a bullshit book. And I've only read the first 2 issues. I think I've only read the first one, to be honest. Maybe I've read 2. I don't know. Oh, that's a bad thing to do. Is to judge a book when you haven't been reading it. But yeah, Casper Wingard and Dan Waters, team behind Limbo. I almost said Lobo. Limbo, and Homesick Pilots. The team of Homesick Pilots doing Absolute Teen Titans. That'd be pretty dope. Silhouette says Absolute Doom Patrol sounds hard. Not if it's Alex Packnadell and what was the artist I picked? Leonardo Romero. Yeah, not if it's them. Jared says, I want an Absolute Hellblazer. Show me how Constantine can get even edgier. Yeah. Absolute Lobo? Yeah, that's 2 on brand, right? Dynamite. That was 2 on brand. What's up, Ghetto Head Productions? How you doing? Thoughts on the Hickman Imperial news? We'll see. We'll see. Gods got announced. I thought I'm a big Hickman head. I love Jonathan Hickman's work. I was really excited for that book. It wasn't quite what I envisioned. When I got to read it all together, though, I did enjoy it more, but it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. Will Imperial be that? I don't know. I think what Gods was for the cosmological Marvel Universe, Imperial will be for the cosmic Marvel Universe. If that makes sense. So I'm excited to read it, though. I really am. Home of the Brave says, if you could only read one Wonder Woman comic a month, would it be Kelly Thompson's Absolute run or Tom Taylor's run on Wonder Woman proper? To me, they're both firing on all cylinders. You mean Tom King. Tom King's writing Wonder Woman. His big arc ends this week with number 19, I think. I think he's continuing on the book, though. I'm not 100% sure, but the end of this big arc. I agree, though. Both books are working really well. If I had to pick one, though, it would be Absolute Wonder Woman. And the reason why, I got 2 words for you. Hayden Sherman. There you go. Even though we got Mateo de Alois coming up to do the next issue of Absolute Wonder Woman, and I'm very, very excited for that. Hey, name changes. What is up? Absolute line selling well at your shop, selling phenomenally well. Energon, I won't say has plateaued, but they are strong. They have stayed strong. The Ultimate books have started dipping down, except for Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man. They're continuing to actually grow. And then, or Ultimate books, right? Did I say Ultimate? But the Absolute line, when they settle, because all books settle, when they settle above. They're some of my best-selling comics right now. They really, really are. I'm going to pull out a bullshit number. There's no way my comic sells this many, but I don't want to give out actual numbers. Let's say I sell 10,000 copies of a generic issue of Amazing Spider-Man without a whole lot of covers. Maybe only 5 covers, right? Let's say I sell 10,000 copies. The Absolute books are selling 15 to 20,000 copies. The Ultimate books are comparable as far as Ultimates. Let's say they would be like 80,000, right? And then Ultimate Spider-Man would be above the 10K, so it would be like wait, did I say 8,000? Whatever, 8,000. I forgot. I kept thinking 100,000 instead of 10,000. Anyway, let's say out of a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say I sell 10 copies of Amazing Spider-Man. I sell 13 copies of Ultimate Spider-Man. I sell 15 copies of Absolute books for the most part. Ultimates, I would sell 7 copies. And then if it was the other Ultimate books are probably around like the 50 to 60 mark. And then or the 5 to 6 mark. And then the Energon books are all around 8 to 9. Sound good? I made that more confusing. Yes, the Absolute books are selling incredibly well. The Absolute line and the Energon line sells incredibly well at my shop. And Farm says, hey, bro, recently started watching your channel. Love you. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. Waiting for my Ice Cream Man issue to come in. Yeah, you got to wait for Ice Cream Man, but it's always worth the wait, yo. Don't know how to feel about Wade on the history of the DC Universe, the new history of the DC Universe. I'm hopeful for it. I'm excited to see it. This man loves the DC Universe, and we are in a time now where it is beneficial to have a recontextualization, because I don't like the word retcon, but a recontextualization of the events throughout the history of the DC Universe to make, like, because it shifts and changes. If you've been reading comics for a long time, and I started post-crisis, so I started fresh and clean, and then all these old elements get introduced back in, and this and thing. And Marvel is no exception. It's not quite as line-wide. It's usually more character-specific. But I'm excited for it. And I don't think anybody new should be doing that. I think it should be someone like Mark Waid who really knows all of the lore. And he's going to be able, I think, better than a new writer. Let's say, who's a newer writer? Dennis Camp. I'll just throw it out there. I'm a big fan of Dennis Camp's work. And if he was on this book, I'd be super excited. And he would do something crazy. But he wouldn't pick this book. He wouldn't pick this book because this is a book for someone like Mark Waid. This is for somebody who knows all of the established lore, pre-crisis, post-crisis, post-Zero Hour, post-Flashpoint, post-New 52, like all the eras. He knows it all, and he can make some sense out of it, I think. Yeah, Plato's Republic. I pulled that out. But I think I put it back and I pulled out The Life of Socrates. Is that what it is? The Life of Socrates? I pulled that one out. I'll go grab it during the break. Grab Plato book. Y'all want to see my Plato collection? Grab Plato books. Show off your Plato collection. Be super pretentious tonight. Let's do it. Would have been dope if they would have hit the Xmas deadline for the Deviant. Southside Ronin. Here's the beauty of it. Deviant, decent enough sales, right? But James Tynion, to be honest, he's a little oversaturating the market. There's a lot. Even Something is Killing the Children is not what it used to be, right? My favorite book of his right now going on currently is Department of Truth. I fucking love Department of Truth. I've never not liked that book. I love that book. It's one of my favorite comics all the time, every time it comes out. But Tynion's kind of oversaturated the market, especially because he puts his names on books that he's not actually writing. Things like The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, which is an amazing book. And yeah, putting his name on the book helped the sales of issue number 1, but it doesn't sell like most Tynion books will. There's kind of a, like at my shop, and I'm sure other shops are the same way. We know who our Tynion fans are. We know who are going to get them. And not all of our Tynion fans get that book. The people that get Christopher Chaos love the book for what it is. And so, why is his, like, I get it's a concept developed by him or whatever, but his name is oversaturated in the market right now is what I'm saying. You retracted your comment. Now I can't. Now I don't know exactly. I lost myself in my own sauce. I lost myself in my own sauce, and now I don't know what I was exactly saying. What was I saying? Well, how did that all start? Y'all are going to remind me, but I'm not going to get those comments till later. Oh, no. You retracted another message. There it is. Would have been dope if they would have hit the Xmas deadline. Oh, what's really cool is they will hit an Xmas deadline for the graphic novel collection. That is something more perennial, something that me as a retailer can stock on my shelves, spotlight on my shelves, spotlight on my channel, and I don't do that as much anymore. I should stock perennial books. Come up with some kind of clever alliterative term for, like, you know, perennial comics. It doesn't work. I got to figure that out. Perennial books. Maybe evergreen. Evergreen, everglowing, whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, when the collection comes out, which will be by this Christmas, it will be perfect. And it is something I would read every other Christmas for sure, I think. Jared says, Tom King's Wonder Woman is way better than Absolute Wonder Woman. Absolute Wonder Woman is massively overrated. Fair enough. I disagree. 9-Panel Grid says, read Power Fantasy. Maybe. Are you following the Stan Lee Kickstarter drama? Not at all. No idea what you're talking about. Nate L99 says, love me some Absolute Wonder Woman and King's Wonder Woman as well. Me too. I love both. Fair enough. I agree. Starscream wants to know, who is my favorite JSA member and why? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I wish I could give you a super chat for that. All right. My favorite JSA member is Stargirl. And it's Stargirl. Here's the reason why. I was there when Stargirl was first created. Not there in the room. But I read the Stars and Stripes book. I picked it up and I read it and I really got into that book. One of my favorite TV shows, if not my favorite television show of all time, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And Stars and Stripes had a lot of the energy of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Stars and Stripes, by the way, is a Jeff Johns penned book. I don't remember the artist right now. It only went like 12 to 18 issues or something like that. Maybe a little bit longer, but it was Courtney's book. That was where she was introduced. And I loved it. And this was before Jeff Johns was a big name. This is what turned me into noticing who Jeff Johns was. And it's one of the books that led to his work on JSA, in which he did introduce Courtney as a member. And to me, she's like the linchpin of the modern era Justice Society. I love that character. Outside of that, I'm a huge Hourman fan. But in particular, I'm talking about the Hourman from the 853rd century, created by Grant Morrison, the cyborg futuristic version of Hourman. Tom Payer did an amazing run in DC Comics that lasted only like 8 issues or so, maybe a little bit more. Amazing. Underappreciated DC Comics from the late 90s period. Stars and Stripes by Jeff Johns. Hourman by Tom Payer. And really solid book, Martian Manhunter by John Ostrander and Tom Mandrake. That shit is amazing. As good as their Spectre run, which is another undersung book these days from the 90s. There you go. Thank you for that question. My favorite old school JSA member? Wildcat. I like that guy for some reason. I was really confused about Wildcat when I was first introduced to him. I was like, I don't understand. Why is everybody talking like they know this guy? Southside Ronin says, Absolute Bane looks insane. What's next after the Zionist fights? Oh, Home of the Brave. Easy mistake. I get Tom Taylor and Tom King confused all the time. Like, we know who we're talking about. You know? I get it. Dark Patterns. Great book. Ghettohead says, I just got the compendium for Hickman's East of West. It's thick as hell. Thick as hell. Hell yeah. Well, it's the whole run. It's 45 issues plus the world one-shot, right? So, worth it. One of the best comics of all time. Nick Dragota, my bad. Nick Dragota. That's how I didn't even realize he was the dude that was doing Hickman's FF before East of West. I didn't even realize. It wasn't Absolute Bane at the end of the issue, but they have shown, Scott Snyder teased a picture of Absolute Bane. Absolute Flash #1 I heard was selling about 180,000. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolute Flash sold pretty well. But did y'all see the numbers on Battle Beast by Kirkman? 400K. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Now, I know we got the popularity of the Invincible show to bolster that a little bit, but that's pretty damned impressive. Because even I was like, I don't know how many I'm supposed to order this. Like, I don't really have good, accurate numbers on Invincible anymore because that book's not been going for a long time. But I know how Kirkman hits, and I know things, so I ordered heavy on it as well. Let's hope the sell-through is good. It's nice to tout big numbers that you sell. That's them. I hope I get to sell them too. Sell-through is the most important number, and nobody knows what sell-throughs are. If shops would get together and share that information in a way that didn't... But the thing is, everybody's scared to share their numbers with their competition. But if everybody actually shared their sell-through numbers, we would have a more accurate understanding of what is selling in the market, or in the direct market for sure. But that ain't going to happen. The way to really... Here's the solution. Here's the solution. Here's a crazy idea. Here's a solution. If all comics were returnable like they were for the newsstands back in the day, we would have accurate numbers on sell-through versus initial sales, and it would help comic shops. But we understand that Disney and Warner Discovery need that money more than mom and pop small businesses across the country. Note the sarcasm. Ant Farm says, G.I. Joe made my day. Thanks, bro. Started a new YouTube channel animating. Wouldn't mind some love. Ant Farm Studio 75. Ant Farm Studio. All right, y'all. I can't vouch for Ant Farm's content. But if one of our blue wrenches out there in the chat, I think, do we have any tonight? I know Two Gun was here earlier. If we got any blue wrenches in the chat, 9 panel grids here. If we got any blue wrenches in the chat, please share a link to his channel. But do understand, I have not seen his content yet, so I'm not responsible. Nah, man, I'll check it out, though. I just wrote it down. And when the link pops up, I'll go to it and give you a subscribe. And then it will pop up in my feed, and I'll be able to see it. Chill Out Man is in the house. He says, this is when you know I need a new phone. It's when you can't chat in the PCP chat. What's up, man? Good to see you. Silhouette says, Tynan, Rom, and now Dennis. These three are absolutely cooking on the indie corners, just waiting for Rom to come out with an ongoing indie soon. Rom doesn't like writing ongoings. He mentioned that to me. Now, maybe that will change. But here's the thing. Nobody is just who they are now. Things can change. But Rom right now is mostly focused on doing short form stuff. He did want to see if he could do a long form story, and that was a detective story. Detective Comics, which I think is amazing. I love that. I love that run. And I cannot wait to sit down and like read it all in like a week or two. But he's got some stuff cooking. Ghettohead says, apparently one of Stan Lee's assistants witnessed Stan Lee going through elder abuse. Oh, yeah. Isn't that part of the... I mean, we all knew that already, didn't we? I thought we already knew that. Isn't there a documentary that's out about that or something? Thoughts on Harley's Fartacular? Here's my thoughts. I'm not going to read it. I will smell it, though. It might get the smell of the week. Wouldn't that be funny? I don't think I'm going to read it, though. Anthony says, I'm a Buffy stan too. Best show ever, at least seasons 1 through 4. Do not speak that devilry. Buffy season 6 is the best season of Buffy. Get out of here. What you talking about? Ghettohead says, Stargirl was a surprisingly good TV show. I loved the first season. I never watched beyond that. They did 2, right? But yeah. Waiting for absolute crazy quilt. Hey, what's up, Fish Face Pete? How you doing? I have had a kick-ass Sunday so far. Hope you have as well. Jared says, I was always more of an Angel fan than Buffy. Still an all-time great finale. I love Angel. Angel's great. Angel gets better and better each season, though I will say that in hindsight, when you rewatch some of the decisions made in season 3 and especially 4, yeah, and especially when you know something behind it, whatever, like, they go into weird zones, but they have some great episodes, right? The puppet episode's fucking amazing. Season 5... kind of got back to basics, but then the show got canceled. It's got a great finale. It's got a great continuation with I'm pointing back there as if you could actually see. IDW did the Angel After the Fall series. I like that way better than Buffy season 8, 9, in my opinion. Season 9's better than season 8. Season 8 goes off the fucking rails. Off the rails. And season 8, of course, is the comic book version. Nick Drake, gotta read it. That's right, Joe. Joe, what did you think about Absolute Batman number 6? I know you've been not the biggest fan of that book, but I understand where you're coming from. But man, Absolute Batman number 6 for some reason worked for me. Worked like a motherfucker. Everybody ordered those blind bag variants for Battle Beast. Yeah, initially I was ordering them super low. And then I started seeing all the commotion, so then I was able to up my orders. I had a bunch of late additions during the FOC weekend. So I was like, oh shit, this stuff's actually heating up. Oh, but that being said, with Angel, season 2 of Angel is my favorite. Mostly because I do think the show kind of grows up a little bit. As I think the show grows up. It has some issues, like especially in season 4, I believe. But like at the time you're watching it, the soap operatic nature of it, you're just like, what? She's pregnant with what? You know, you're doing all this kind of shit. She had sex with Angel's kid? What the hell? But season 2, what I like about it so much is the development more on... There's a lot of development there with Angelus and Darla, Drusilla, and Spike, or William the Bloody. Chill Out Man wants everybody to know that he will definitely smell Harley's farts. Billy Powermax is here, says Stargirl was good and Stargirl was surprisingly good and not woke. Fair enough. Guy Forge is in the house. What's up, my man? Good to see you here. All right, there's the link to Ant Farm Studios. I'll give you a subscribe, and I'll check out some of your videos. 63 videos, man. But it says you don't have any content. Oh, there they are. There it is. I was on your homepage. All right, I'll check it out. Twitch is in the house. What's up, my man? There were accusations for years about Stan being abused before his death. Yeah, I mean... I wouldn't say I saw it in person, but Stan, when I did see him in person for the first time and only time in my life, did not look like he was being treated well, and it did not look like he was having a good time. And I did not meet him because of it. I was like, I'm not waiting 3 hours to add on to that, dude. That dude looks fucking exhausted. Chill Out Man says, I'm not a blue wrench, I'm more of a red flag. Yeah, Chill Out Man, I don't know about giving you a blue wrench yet, man. You got a little bit more time and you might earn one. Especially since most of my blue wrenches are never here anymore. Jackasses. They got their own channels. They're doing their own things. They think they're so fucking important. They forgot where it all started. PCP. That's right. Fuck those guys. Not you, Eric. You're cool. And Twitch, I'm glad you're here too. But I'm talking about, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, fuck those guys. You're the heel. Do I have to say that? I always feel like I have to say you're the heel so people know that I'm just fucking playing. But I'm also playing. I got Eric's ass the other day. Last week, Eric, I'm not going to tell... I mean, I don't mean to put you on blast, but I got that motherfucker. I was doing one of my heelish moments... and he's like, man, you okay? Now all of a sudden Fable's going to message me and be like, well, you talking shit? Yeah, I'm talking shit about you, Fable. I'm talking shit about you, Fable. Clip it. I'm talking shit about you, Fable. This is too much fun. When you hang out with Travis, like in real life, and he does this on his channel, so y'all know it, but this is real life too. Like, just so you know, he ain't faking anything. When he talks some shit and makes a good one, he can't help himself but be like, hee. I do the same thing. I love that fucking dude. I miss you, Travis. I miss all my MegaCon homies. Yeah, Billy says, I've been following Robbie for 7 years. Chill out, man. It ain't the time that gets you the blue wrench. Oh, now Stu's going to show up conveniently. Stu's going to show up as I'm talking shit. How are you doing, Stu? You're cool too, man. But fuck Fable and the rest of that crew. Fucking assholes. Fucking can't even be here on a Sunday night. This is where they all fucking met. Fucking assholes. Anthony Davis says, I'm a big Cordelia fan. Spike, not so much. I'm a big fan of Spike and Cordelia. Charisma Carpenter is going to be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo at the end of April. So is Emma Caulfield, who played Anya. Very, very fucking excited. I'm gonna go meet him. I hope I get to do the Buffy panel. I'm literally the biggest Buffy fan here. I gotta let Jeremy know. He may not know. Jessica Alba and all those leather and all that leather and Dark Angel is just, I get that. I didn't like that show. I was so pumped for that premiere. I remember watching it the day it came out. Smoked me a joint, watched it with my homie. We were like, well, really? What's up, Kenneth? I'm going to start pulling blue wrenches. That's what I'm going to start doing. These assholes think I'm fucking playing. Nine Panel Grid says, see how he praises you, then kicks you in the shins? Effing heel. Eddie says, I like heel, Robbie. Ant Farm says, thanks, bro. If you ever need any animation done, hit me up. I just started doing a few months back. If you want something for your channel, love y'all. Oh, okay. What's your fucking rate? You gonna invoice me like a motherfucker? I ain't got no money. Only lights in my house are these fucking pink and blue ones. Everybody comes to my house, they're like, I can't see. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. You see what I just did? Dun, 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 dun. All right, we're getting a little too feeling ourselves. Maybe we should take a quick break. We've been going for over an hour. I'm feeling it tonight. I got a show I got to do. We're at the end of the comment stream. Fuck Fable? Yeah, fuck Fable. How about that? With a PH. Two Gun Pedro, the one blue wrench I will never talk shit about because I love that dude. I can verify that Travis is like that. I just gave the connotation I didn't like the other blue wrenches. Maybe that's true. You don't know, do you? How much of this heel shit is real? How much is not? Same thing with John Cena. How much of that is just a show? And how much of it is his pent up fucking frustrations for 25 years of service and everybody shitting on him and talking shit about him for winning best hair awards and shit like that? Maybe y'all pushed him into it. Maybe y'all need to fucking think about y'all's lives and get your shit together and really understand who's important here. Heel Robbie, it's not your fault, it's all ours. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's your fucking fault that this has happened. Everyone here, including that one kid there. All right, we're taking a quick break. We're going to come back and, we got a reveal. We're going to reveal the April lineup for PCP Movie Night. So that's fun.
When I was a kid, we moved in right next to the neighborhood, and we walked there, like, literally I was like 11 or maybe younger than 11.
All right, we are on our way to the next place.
Yeah.
Do we see him?
I think it's going to be slowing down, maybe left.
That's not Nope, that's not him.
Damn it.
Yeah, and it was one of those ones that, it's like fucking loud.
Little bastards.
And we go down there, and it's pitch black, and there's no lights at all. Just this big alcove, and above there are like trees and like high areas back there that you can walk up to if you know how to get there.
Oh, it wasn't responding the way it was the last time.
Yeah.
Oh no, they hated it this time. Yeah. But that's the thing, is experimentation. Trying out, like,
I'm not judging you, brother, right?
It's like
It was just weird when you were like, hold up.
Close Encounters.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm terrified of all ghost stuff, even though I don't believe in anything. But we're walking around, and we hear loud as day. We hear, ah! Just one loud, piercing scream from the trees, and I immediately was like, I wanna go, 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 can we go, I wanna go, I wanna go, can we go, I wanna go, I wanna go,
Trying to do the photo shoot today. No Robbie, no Blake. May not happen. We'll see. Basic story of the house here. Let me be the last one on it. Found an orange ball after that orange orb encounter.
Say that again, I wasn't recording. I'm so serious.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious, y'all.
Are you really?
I am now. I'm so serious.
Were you recording any of it?
No, none of that.
I told the Orange Ball Sigil story.
He did.
I know you did, and I told you. I'm so sorry I didn't film any of that.
How do we feel about what happened?
I don't want to go home tonight.
Let me know. You want to.
Yeah, let me see.
Where should we
What do
put
I
your
want?
shot?
Try not to get a customer here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Come up to like Trevor, like right up in this little section right here.
Hey man, just get you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back here to Rockin Robbie Live on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. Station, pop, pop, boom. And if you ain't down with PCPX, I got 2 words for you. Suck it! There you go. Year of the Heel underway. We've had a great show already, talking shit, spreading information, opinionating, all over the place, all over these mofos. Anyway, what's up? We'll get back to the chat here in a second. Let me know what you want to chat about before we get into the reveal of PCP Movie Night for April of 2025, and then show and tell. And yep, I brought my Play-Doh books, and I've had them for a long time, motherfuckers. Just so you know. Anyway, so here we go. Follow Pop Culture Philosophers. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Instagram's the most important thing. But if you are on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on X at the Rockin Robbie. You can support the channel with Super Chat, which nobody has deemed necessary tonight, and that's okay. It's just fuel to the heel fire, y'all. That's what it is. That's what it is, okay? Don't worry about it. You can also support us over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP generals. Right there. Coming up after the show, March Madness continues. We're in the last week of March Madness. I will be joining the crew over at Dylan's Horror Show tonight to talk about the Babadook. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time, we'll be talking about Mother. First time watch for me. Two Guns Pick. Very excited to talk about it. Fable and the gang are going to be talking about Old Boy Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, and Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, Blood Splatter Chatter, Verno and his crew are going to be talking about The Invisible Man from 2020. We're in the midst of March Madness, y'all. The Babadook show, by the way, is 9:30 Central-ish. Because you know how Dylan can be. But I'm going to be there. So there you go. All right. As you see, I did one for Verno, one for Fable, one for Dylan. Actually, I did two for Verno. Maybe I like Verno better. Anyway, it just so happened Verno really needed somebody to talk about a Fulci film. And I was like, yo, I know we got plans tonight, but like, can we delay them a couple hours so I can do this Fulci film review? It's so important to me. I know that we've made these plans. I'm just kidding. Anyway, what's up, everybody? What do you want to chat about? Let's get it in before we do the reveals and the show and tell, and we wrap this thing up, because in a little over an hour, I'm going to be on Dylan's Horror Show to talk about the Babadook, and that's a really good movie, and I want to be somewhat sober to fucking get into it. We haven't been doing shots on this show in a while. Maybe we should bring that back. Robbie Week, for sure. By the way, we're less than 2 months away from Robbie Week, everybody. Start getting your savings ready. I want that fucking Cena merch fucking money. That's what I want. Billy says, Robbie, you are important. Thank you, Billy. Are you sucking up trying to get a blue wrench? It ain't gonna work. Thank you, though. You're important too, Billy. Where's your comic? How's that coming? Is it like mine? Just a long ass process, way longer than I thought. Jesus Christ. Progress has been made on the Mortex though. Kevin showed up and showed me like a few finished pages that he had done. Very excited. The Ash Can is out this year. It's going to be out, so the Ash Can's done. But for some reason we haven't fixed it. We haven't printed it yet. Yeah. We haven't. We'll get there. Acres of Movies, what is up? Would you cast Jonathan Majors as Balrog? It's a little bit on the nose, don't you think? No pun intended. But yeah, that seems, I think he would be fine. Home of the Brave says, Robbie has me crying in laughter tears. Hell yeah. Dope Cena rant. Well, thank you. Southside Ronan says, what? Don't take anything I say seriously, except for my opinions about comic books and movies. Chill Out Man says, God, I wish this was payday Friday. I should be paying this guy. Year of the heel. Fuck how we feel. Oh, I like that. Year of the heel. Fuck how we feel. That's right. It's PCPX, everybody. Been doing this shit for 10 fucking years and I'm fed up with it. Billy's sucking up. Anybody else thinking Robbie is looking jacked? Must be hitting them deadlifts? Bruh, you know I ain't hitting no deadlifts, but I ain't heard that in a minute. That does make me feel good. You're a little bit closer to that blue wrench. I like compliments. and money. That's what I like. That's what it's all about here on YouTube, y'all. The only reason why any of us are doing this is for compliments and money. Give it to me. Home of the Brave says, LOL, Robbie the heel version. Fuck yo feelings. Yeah. Oh, Two Gun, you're too sweet. Billy says, we have to fix Robbie's energy from evil spirits tonight. Put this in for protection from Robbie. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, all right. Oh, I like those. I like those. Those are some good emojis. If you really want to protect me from these evil spirits that are raining down on me, someone give me a super chat. Name Changes says, best heel was Stone Cold. Bret the Hitman Hart was a heel, but everyone in Canada loves him. Stone Cold was better as the anti-hero babyface. A heelish babyface. When he went heel, it didn't work, I think. And a lot of other people think that too. But who's the best heel in my opinion? Man, that's tough. My favorite wrestler of all time is The Rock. It's a very basic bitch answer, but it's the truth. He was a great heel. An absolutely great heel. I loved him as a face too, but he was a great heel. But outside of him, Undertaker was a great heel, especially during the ministry shit. I love that for some fucking reason. I do. I really do. What about y'all? Aker says Chalamet for Gilligan. Yeah, if they do a Gilligan's Island movie, Timothy Chalamet, I'm sure he'll be down for that. Chill Out Man says, let's get a vote in the chat. 1 station for face Robbie, 2 stations for heel Robbie. Yeah, let's see that. I want to see that. What do y'all think? Aker says, you're having a ball. What 2 movie characters do you get to greet the guests? And what kaiju do you have exhibit in the courtyard? My 2 movie characters would be Johnny Lawrence from Karate Kid. The villain that wears the shades from Cyborg. And as far as kaiju go, I'm pretty sure Godzilla would be busy. So I got to lower my expectations. So Gamera, because that would be really fun for my homie John. That sounds like a great, great ball to have, doesn't it? What's your favorite movies ever? Says Anthony Davis. Like mine are Interstellar, Gangs of New York, Godfather. My favorite movies ever are Suspiria, Gremlins, because I saw somebody mention Gremlins, and Gremlins should be on that list. Suspiria, Gremlins, Dazed and Confused, Citizen Kane, Blade Runner, 2001: A Space Odyssey, American Beauty, Blade. Enough said. Art's gone to the lettering. Hell yeah, Billy. Send me some stuff on IG? Hell yeah, please do. I'd love to see it, brother. I'm excited. D, what is up? Who's D? I'm setting y'all up. That's a face thing to do. But as a heel, I got to give you a bone every once in a while. Funk Doctor says, hey, Robbie, a few weeks ago you said you don't usually buy variant covers. Just wondering why. I like a cover A. I mean, to be honest with you, when they first started doing variants back in the day, like I was always like, I want cover A. Like, I don't know. There's something in my head that wants cover A, but I do like variants as well. And I don't typically buy them. Honestly, I don't buy a lot of comics. I do get collected editions. A lot of stuff gets sent to me, but all the books I read are books I take home from my shop, and they go right back on the shelf, except for a few things. Like I always buy Fantastic Four, and I always buy cover A. But I will buy variants sometimes. So, it's not that I'm against variants, but me personally, I buy very limited floppy issue comics. For instance, what did I buy this week? Nothing. I didn't buy any of the floppies this week, I don't think. But so I'm not like I'm not one of those guys that hunts along for variants and stuff like that, but I do appreciate them. I wish that you would get more, like variant cover collections based on artists, right? Like I have an Archie Art of Francisco Francavilla book that I love because it's a bunch of Francavilla covers, but I would love just a collection of Francavilla covers from Dynamite. I would love a collection of Campbell covers from Marvel. I would love stuff like that. They do those like portfolios sometimes, but I don't know, like more of a conscientious effort to do things like that, like Momoko or John Boy Myers, things like that. I would love that. Or like G.I. Joe, Energon, the covers, hardcover. TMNT did the Eastman variant covers. Like they did volume 1, they're doing a volume 2. That shit's dope to me. Because I love art as well. But yeah, the reason why I don't usually buy variant covers is because I don't buy many floppies. That being said, I do get Lady Death, and I always get the variant. Because the variant's usually more sexy. Gremlins is super dope. It is my favorite Christmas movie. And we got a super chat from Eddie Von B, who wants to help exorcise some of these heel demons with the Hellboy song. You got it. Thank you for the support. Hey, yo. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom, and now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! Now he fights with the man who's a fish named Abe. And now he fights with a fire starter named Liz, and an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. Fuck the backlog bros. What? Thank you so much for the super chat, Eddie Von B. You are off the list. There you go. I hope people understand this heel shit. And I know not everybody watches wrestling, but in case, let me just break down for you real quick. Let me break kayfabe. Being a heel is being a bad guy. And this year I've determined I'm going to be a bad guy in our 10th year here on YouTube. So I'm talking extra shit, but I don't mean it, except for when I do. And I mean it most of the time. So there you go. But Eddie is now officially off the list with that Michigan statement. You were on the list. Chris Jericho. Anyway, when I get into something, I really get into it. I decided I was going to, like, wrestling hooked me back in with that Saturday night main event shit. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. I'm all fucking in for WrestleMania. I got it on my calendar. WrestleMania weekend, you ain't doing shit, bruh. Me and Jelani and our buddy Chris and a bunch of friends are all hanging out together, and we're just gonna drink and eat and watch WrestleMania for 2 nights. It's gonna be glorious. But then when I get into something, and like right now, Neoplatonic esoteric philosophy. Well, I caught up on wrestling. Let me tell you that. I've been working on it. Not watching the shows, obviously. But just, I'm all in. When I get into something, I get all in. Billy says, Captain Insano is my favorite wrestler. Cobra Kia was freaking awesome. I'm not familiar with either of those. Who's tougher, Invincible or Superman? Superman, for sure. Superman hasn't even hit the upper echelon of where he's going to be. Hey, Joe Mulvey is in the house. Artist extraordinaire. What's up, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. No Goonies on that list. Sacrilege. Hey, man. I love me some Goonies. Definitely a top 75 movie. It's definitely within the top 75, somewhere between 75 and 50. I think. I've never gone beyond my top 10 favorite movies. So I don't know where Goonies really lies. But it is, I do. So here's the thing. Whenever I meet someone, I'm talking to them, they go, after a couple weeks, they go, you got a lot of favorite movies. And I'm like, well, yeah. So it's on there. It's in the top 100. It's in the top 100 best of all time, Rockin Robbie. I haven't watched it in forever. We haven't done it on PCP Movie Night. Joe, would you do a Goonies movie review with us if we added it to the PCP Movie Night lineup, say January of 2026? Let me know. And then you can take a stand for Goonies. I love Goonies, though. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid, for sure. My favorite movies when I was a kid were Gremlins, Back to the Future, and Goonies. And those movies like were my fucking everything. And Monster Squad. Don't even get me started on Monster Squad. Pete says Invincible would punch a hole through Superman. Someone's never read DC 1 Million. But fair enough. I disagree. Glenn from Comic Palace is a great heel for comics, says the name changes. Is he a heel? I don't know. Billy says Fight Club, Star Wars Episode 4, Tombstone, Batman vs. Superman, Ultimate Edition, Justice League the Snyder Cut. Top 5 favorite movies? You put Justice League the Snyder Cut? And you wonder why you ain't got a blue wrench. Hey, Mark from Geeks Unleashed. What is up, my man? Station. I was just thinking about you the other day. I was trying to remember what Scott Pilgrim book we're doing at the end of the year. I was like, I think we're at the end. We are at the end. Good to see you here, man. Joe says, you got to get Thundercats, especially the upcoming issue 15. Guest artist is doing wild things. I'm going to tell you something, Joe. I said this on the channel. First of all, I love Drew. I love Drew. I know you love Drew. I know Declan loves Drew. I know we all love Drew. I love Drew. But if Drew decides to dip, you need to be the ongoing artist. And I've told people at Dynamite this because that issue you did was fucking awesome. And I cannot wait to see what you do for issue 15. It's out this week, right? Shit, it's in my inbox right now. But Joe, you do great work, man. First time I saw Joe's work was a book called The Wailing Blade that I would still recommend anybody find if you can find it. Like, your shop may not have it. Try to find it. Get online. Do whatever you can. Read The Wailing Blade and understand why I fell in love with Mr. Joel Mulvey. Akers wants to know, who first told you about YouTube, or how did you find out about it at first? Do you remember what you were doing when you found out about it? Someone told me about it, basketball highlight. I don't remember. I remember my first, dive into YouTube. My first dive into YouTube was watching old ripped from the VHS Power Ranger episodes. That was how I got into YouTube. And then I started getting into, I'm embarrassed to say this shit now, because it turns out not everybody is who they say they are online, But there was a time in my life, at the very beginnings of PCP, where I was really into, I was in the gym super much. So I was like watching a lot of gym stuff. And that got me into Elliot Hulse, who went way off his fucking rocker. But like his book King is still something I read and like. So Elliot Hulse was somebody I was into. And then there were these two twins that would do like food reviews as well as gym stuff, gym content. I was into them. I was into Matty Fazaro. I'm not ashamed of that. Matty Fazaro was cool. I don't think he does a lot of content anymore. And then I watched a lot of Ty Lopez shit. I got wrapped up into that because at first he was just talking about books and shit, right? And then I started following some of the more esoteric channels, and that's when I started deciding, like, yeah, I think I want to take our podcast idea that we're already doing, and I want to do some YouTube stuff, and that's where it happened. Pop Culture Philosophers was born. I have a very low opinion now on Ty Lopez. I just want everybody to know that. The twins went really crazy. Elliot went really crazy. I don't follow those motherfuckers anymore either. But back in the day, Elliot had a lot of wisdom for me at that point in my life. And the twins, the Hodge twins, what were their fucking names? They were so goddamn funny. I thought they were so funny. Oh, and Good Mythical Morning. I started getting into Good Mythical Morning. My initial idea for PCP was a show like that with me and my buddy John Holshoe, where we would just, maybe we could build up to doing like a daily show about pop culture, but it's never happened. But we are where we are, and I'm happy for it. We got a super chat from Billy Billy's giving me a super chat. Thank you. Your 5th super chat. Last Days of the Bad Moon coming soon from Dark Gift Comics. Hell yeah, can't wait to check it out. Let's celebrate. We're gonna belt this one out. Sorry, neighbors. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had the sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. And now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! Now he fights with the man who's a fish named Abe. And now he fights with a fire daughter named Liz. And an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. PPRD. Yeah! All right. What's your favorite Avatar press series? Oh, I don't know if I have one. Did they do... There's a Warren Ellis book about a detective whose kid gets kidnapped or something. I don't even remember the name of that book. Then they did another one called Atmospherics. I still have some Avatar press stuff over there, right? Yeah. Give me a second. Station identification, y'all. Come on, yeah. Throw those stations out there in the chats. If you love Rockin Robbie, prove to me that you're love. Prove to me your love. All right, so I still have 4 surviving Avatar press books that I've kept. Aside from when they, for a while, Avatar/Boundless did some Lady Death stuff. Atmospherics by Warren Ellis. This book is freaking cool. Who's the artist on this book? Ken Meyer Jr. Atmospherics is pretty dope. It's got a cool, like, ink wash to it. What do I remember about the story? Nothing. But I remember I liked it. I've kept it all these years. I remember this artwork. So that's one. I also kept Bad Signal, Volume 1 and 2 from Warren Ellis. These are articles that he would do, or like he would like respond. I think this is from the Warren Ellis forum, if I remember. His email column shows that he's a modern master of the short form essay. Yeah, so this is a bunch of that kind of stuff. I was a big Warren Ellis fanboy. And then I got this one, which is Alan Moore's Writing for Comics. I've kept that. Because it's Alan Moore talking about writing comics. So yeah, I guess those would be my favorites. YouTuber Huck's Pop Culture Cafe uses that song for his intro music. Yeah, it's a YouTube studio music, so I wouldn't be surprised. Our DC Sneak Peek is what my Cowboys Report YouTube channel uses. Bam, 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 bam. Storms are starting. How do I gremlin gifts for Secret Santa at work? Literally gave a coworker a series of 15 boxes that fit one inside the next. Then taped gift cards under 2 of them. Had my kids write messages in them. I think you're doing the good job. Hey, Mark is with another super chat. All right, Mark, this one's for you, buddy. I hope you like it. Oh, Twitch says he does gremlin gifts. That's funny. I love that. That's great. That's a great face thing to do. That's good. This is for Mark. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago. Save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nana who had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom, and now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! And now he fights with a man who's a fish named Abe. And now he fights with a fire starter on the fire starter named Liz, and an ectoplasmic nest named Johan. APRD, go. I'm sorry, Mark. My British accent is always the guy from the Park Life song. I get up when I want, except for on Wednesdays when I get rudely awakened by the dustman. That's how I think you all sound, just so you know. Oh, and Kelvin with the super chat. Here, Robbie. Variants from artists are cool, but cover A tells the story. Well, it used to. I wish they would tell the story a little bit more. But thank you so much, Kelvin. You get the Hellboy song with the interpretive dance. Let's go. And that's your 10th super chat on a stream. Thank you so much. You're off the list. Mark's off the list. Billy's off the list. Sounds good to me. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth someday to save it or destroy. Forgot the lyrics. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had the sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom, and now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! Now he fights with the man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic mess named Johan.
PPRD!
Yeah! All right, I got a show in like 50 or 40 minutes, and the rain's coming down hard. We're going to speed through some of these comments. Joe says, who let Joe in here? I guess Joe did. 2 Joes for the price of 1. Nice. All right, moving through. Hey, what's up, Psychotron? Kelvin says, those movies sure seem to have molded your love for the culture. Well, thank you. I think you're right. And yo, do not throw shade on the Snyder Cut. I don't. I love the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Billy knows I love the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Top 5 favorite movies of all time, though. Top 5 favorite movies. Twitch says, top 5 for him. Number 5, Ghostbusters. 4, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. 3, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. 2, The Departed. Number 1, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. All great films. I appreciate you, Joe. The Hodge twins, that's who they were. I loved them. Yeah, the Swole brothers. I used to love the Hodge twins. I need to check in on them. Are they still doing weirdly political content when all we need them to do is be funny, show us gym strategies, and eat massive amounts of fucking fast food? Psychotron says they do a podcast now and it's funny as shit. Okay, I'm going to have to check them out then. See. I used to be really into them. Swordfish 2? Nobody wants Swordfish 2. Psychotron says, when we get Hellboy stuff in at the shop, I always bust this song out and dance so they try and hide it. Yeah, station everybody. Yo, what's up, Louis? Low hit? Low eat? I forget. I'm the fire starter. Twisted fire starter. Yeah, I love The Prodigy. R.I.P. Keith Flint. We go from variant covers to variant songs. Nice. Hell yeah, Eddie. Mark says we either sound like that guy or Prince William. Oh my God. Oh, I hate the Whedon cut of fucking Justice League, Eddie. I do. You're not on the list, though. All right. We're about to reveal PCP movie night for April because I see a Showgirls 2 that lap dances better when she's crying. So that reminded me, we got to do the reveal. Before we do let's do the reveal first. PCP movie night in April. We got 4 shows. Starting on the first Monday of April, going every Monday throughout April. You know the deal. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're going to kick it off in April with Double Dragon. Yeah, video game adaptation. After that, we're doing the Flintstones, y'all. The Flintstones. After that, we're doing Fateful Findings, the Neil Breen film. And to wrap it up, we're doing Showgirls. So I typically like to throw in an April Fool's movie, right? Where last year, for instance, it was Cats. We finally did the 2019 Cats theatrical version as an April Fool's. Not to you, maybe to some of y'all, but mostly to my panel. But this year, we decided all of April are going to be April Fool's movies. This is not saying that we ain't doing these movies, because we doing these movies. But we are fools in April for doing these movies. So we're kicking it off with Double Dragon. When's the last time you watched that Scott Wolf classic? Then we got the Flintstones. When's the last time you saw that Rosie O'Donnell classic? And Fateful Findings. Y'all, I watched this movie for the first time last year. I cannot wait to hear Brooks and Jelani talk about this movie. And then Showgirls. Why? Because, what's her actual name? I'm forgetting it right now, but she played Jessie on, she's the main character in Showgirls, and she played Jessie in Saved by the Bell. She was at the expo last year. She's going to be at the expo again this year. So, what's her name? Elizabeth, right? Elizabeth something. Why am I forgetting her name? Elizabeth Berkley. Yeah. She still looks good. All right. That's the PCP movie night lineup. But before we dip out, before we get into show and tell, my buddy Davey's got some responses to some comments. So I get comments, and I don't respond to all the comments, and I'm bad at that. I want to get better, but this is the year of the heel, so I don't need to, right? So as I wait for my glitchy-ass computer to catch back up here, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. No DC this week. Lunar was delayed. All right. So Davey's been responding to comments for me, and we got a couple for you. So here you go.
3 months ago, Vaz Vegas commented, "You need a job at Diamonds. They never miss a day, just like you." You know what I'm saying? This guy knows what it's all about. Last week here at the Deep, we got a box that said Diamond on the side. We opened it up, and it was a bunch of eggshells and loose springs. Right? Thought it was some comics. We opened it up and found some Blockbuster videotapes. Probably packaged by the same guy who, forgot to write that, the sign that they keep the warehouse open. I don't read the news too much, but I see the boxes come through. Anyways, Vaz Vegas, you have a good day, man.
Thank you, Vaz Vegas, for that comment, and thank you, Davey, for responding to it for me. And then Davey, after searching through comments, if you notice, that comment was from 3 months ago. And he's got a special message and respond to some other comments. So here you go. Faux Robbie, everybody, I present to you.
All right, Rockin Robbie fans. Listen, every once in a while I'm working my shift. I work at the Deep Comics and Games. I'm a cashier. I do a little bit of cashiering. Do a little bit of shopping around. I tell people, recommending books, stuff like that. I have a job. And sometimes when I do my job, I get called in by my manager. And he's like, "Hey, David, get in here!" And I go in there and I think, I'm finally in trouble. He's going to fire me. Damn, he knows. But every time he's like, "Bro, do these videos for me. Make fun of these people because they like seeing you," or whatever. Bro, I'm trying to find comments where you guys are being mean, and you guys are some boot-licking, butt-sniffing motherfuckers. Can y'all make one insult? Y'all won't insult the guy. I'm going 3 months back. Y'all, here, that's fine. Very excited to see Petra make Pick of the Week. Really been liking that series. That freaking boom at the end preceded by some Xmas cheer was boom! Brilliant. Y'all can be honest. His hair's too tall. His glasses are it's like Santa Claus. You can say things that are honest. His t-shirts are, let's be honest. It's like a middle schooler's closet, You can say that. He knows. Thanks for your efforts, Robbie. Takes 10 minutes to make one of those. Takes 1 second to leave a mean review on a comic book video. Start being mean.
All right, for Davey's sake, everybody needs to start being a little bit more mean in the comments so he has some good content to respond to. All right. Let's recap the PCP movie night for April. Double Dragon. After March Madness rests, we're going into Double Dragon, The Flintstones, Fateful Findings, and Showgirls. April is lining up to be great. In May, we kick off Crew's Choice, but the first month of Crew's Choice is a special presentation that we are going to be calling Anna May. And then June will be the rest of Crew's Choice, which is not involved with Anna May. And then we've got Action Fest, Horror Fest, and then the rest of the year. All right. Show and tell time, everybody. For some reason, I felt like y'all wanted to see my Plato books. The Last Days of Socrates. That's the one I pulled out earlier. Timaeus and Critias. Some of these, you'll notice, have cut covers. The reason why is because when I was a kid, my library was giving these things away, and I snatched up a bunch. And you can tell how old they are. I've been loving... I collect these Penguin classics from this era. But I also love Plato. I've never read this one, though. This is Phaedrus and Letters 7 and 8. Here's the big one. The Republic. Here's another big one. The Symposium. Strip cover. Here is Plato's The Laws. And here is Protagoras and Meno. What have I actually read from here? I've read this one. I've read these ones. I've not read this one. I've read parts of this one. I've read this one. I've read parts of this one. I have not read this one. So, I got some Plato reading to do. My buddy David runs a video store here. Let me give him some love real quick. Once I find where it's at. Hey everybody, Rockin Robbie here, and I want to talk to you about Big Mix Vintage Video. Right now in Huntsville, Alabama, you can go and rent movies from an actual video store. Now this is run by my good homie of over 20 years, David. So go let him know that PCP sent you. This dude's got over 18,000 movies. That's right. He's got DVDs. He's got Blu-rays. He's got 4Ks. Hell, he's got VHS and Laserdisc. He's got an exceptional collection of your favorite filmmakers, your favorite film franchises, and he really specializes in hard-to-find, unheard of horror movies. This dude is where it's at. He's my go-to source for those hard to get movies that I don't want to spend a freaking bundle on Amazon or eBay to get. It's just a nice old school kind of vibe when you go in. One of the best video stores I've ever been at. If you're in Huntsville, Alabama, go to 309 Dallas Street and check out Big Mix Vintage Video. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook, and you can email them at bigmixvintage@gmail.com. I was actually there yesterday in that location. I rented a couple videos, including Only Lovers Left Alive, a Jim Jarmusch film that I've never seen that David recommended to me heavily. He also brought this one to my attention, Mad God, which I don't remember the director's name, but it's a dude who did like stop motion. Like he's the guy that created, what's the fucking villain in RoboCop? Is it Ed 209, Ed 09? Whatever. He does a lot of stop motion special effects. He's been working on this movie for forever. So, very excited to check out Mad God and, what is it, Only Lovers Left Alive. So, I got some time, maybe hopefully this week to check them out. Here's the newest issue of Santos Sisters, issue number 8. I've always wanted to get into this book, but this was a good one to pick up for a good reason. Our buddy Eric over at 9 Panel Grid took out an ad for those sorry sons of bitches over at the Bad Batch. So if you notice, there's a Bad Batch PCP Army logo right there. So Eric, that's super cool that you did that. It sucks that you did it for some bullshit artists. All right. Speaking of Santos Sisters, I'll finally get caught up. They finally put out, through Fantagraphics, this amazing looking collection with a really cool slip. Look at that. Look at that. That's freaking cool. I'm very excited to check this out. It won Smell of the week it came out, as most Fantagraphic books do. I've not read these yet, but they definitely are done in a Archie style, but they're not Archie books. So I'm excited to check that finally out for the first time. Here's some books from my personal collection. Should I keep them? Should I let them go? Some of this stuff was fodder I picked up from maybe possible Image in the 90s. How about this? Grifter, issue number 1, Steven Seagal, Ryan Benjamin. How about issue number 2? How about issue number 3? It's been a while since I showed some comics, right? Floppies. How about issue number 4? How about issue number 5? Y'all think I should keep these in the collection and review them on an Image in the 90s? I found this one, my Going to the Chapel, issue number 1. I got this one signed by David Pepose the first time I ever met him. And then like a couple years later, I met Gavin Guidry and got him to sign it. If y'all have never read Going to the Chapel, it's like Die Hard at a wedding. Really cool stuff. David Pepose, who you'll know right now from Cable, Love, and Chrome, Space Ghost, soon to be Captain Planet. How about Gladiator meets Supreme, Marvel Maximum Press crossover? That's one we should cover. Let me know what you think. And here's something. Why do I have this? Hawkman number 1. Why do I have this? Because of that gold foil cover. So I guess I'm showing my Hawkman collection right now. I got this Hawkman book. I think this is the copy I bought as a kid in 1993. This is a great book that I need to get a compendium of or something, but this Jeff Johns, James Robinson, it was started with James Robinson and Jeff Johns. It just became Jeff Johns, but this run of Hawkman was really good, and that's when I met Jeff Johns back in 2002. Got him to sign this book. And for some reason I have these. How about Hawk World number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Post-Crisis, they didn't know what to do with Hawkman. And they didn't know what to do with Hawkman after 0 Hour either. 5. And part of 0 Hour was to try to fix Hawkman. So there's issue number 6. I've never read this. It's written by John Ostrander, though. These are things I would love to do, like DC in the 90s. What do you think? There's issue number 7, 8, 9, with an ad for Flight of the Intruder back there. Ooh, The Rookie, Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen. That was a good movie. And issue number 10. I don't know if the series went longer than that, but that's what I have. And then cool The Doors ad in the back there. All right. Just show off a couple new issues of Scream Magazine because I figured I'm on Dylan's Horror Show. They might ask me to show something off. So that's issue number 87. Cool article about Salem's Lot. Revenge of Frankenstein, Jaws 2. Friday the 13th, an interview with Adrian King. I love Scream Magazine. Here's the next issue, the newest one. Just got this a couple weeks ago. Issue number 88. Hills Have Eyes retrospective with Michael Berryman. Prom Night. Deep Blue Sea. There's a giant article in here on Deep Blue Sea. If you're a horror fan, Horror Hound is good. Scream Magazine is where it's at. I love this magazine so much. Horror Hound is good. Fangoria sucks. Scary Monsters is okay. All right, and this one was sent to me by our new friend, Brian Polito. Lady Death Masterpieces, The Art of Lady Death, Volume 1. Slipcase, hardcover. We had a great conversation with Brian here on the channel. It's just a bunch of great art from Lady Death covers. We were talking about wanting art books, like variant cover, like hardcover collections. Yes, things like this. So I'm very, very excited to have this in my collection. Cannot wait to really pour over that. And that is Show and Tell. That is the PCP Movie Night lineup reveal. Fuck, we're done. We're done. All right. We'll be back here next week for Rockin Robbie Live. Upcoming, though, this week, do not forget, in 20-ish minutes, The Babadook over at Dylan's Horror Show. I'll be there. PCP Movie Night tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time. Mother! Cannot wait to talk about that. Fable's going to be doing Old Boy on Tuesday night. Verno on Blood Splatter Chatter is doing The Invisible Man from 2020. All right, y'all. Y'all been great. Y'all been the best. We love you. If I missed your comment, come back here next week for Rockin Robbie Live. We'll be doing it at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or Daylight Time now. I'm very excited to be hopefully doing a Rockin Robbie Live every Sunday night until WrestleMania weekend. All right, y'all. Go read some comics. Go watch some movies. And, I don't know. Get fucked, I guess. Have a good one, y'all. We're out, station.